Okay, guys, Mr. Urrego here. So this is adding, subtracting. We're doing adding, subtracting, multiplying complex numbers. Our vocabulary will be complex numbers, a plus bi, which is the complex number form. A part, the a is the real part, the bi is the imaginary part, where the I stands for imaginary number, okay, which is equal to square root of -1. I have a build work there, but let's move on. So complex numbers, a plus bi. So a complex number is any number that can be written in the form a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers. So a and b can be 2, 3, 4, -5, -7, -10, any number, and the I will be the imaginary part. I is equal to square root of -1, like I said over here, and I square root of -1. I squared is equal to -1. So whenever we multiply, we'll be using the I squared a lot. All right, we turn the I squared into a -1. Move on. So right now we're adding, subtracting, and multiplying. We write the final answer in a plus b form. So right now, think about the I as an x, okay, as a variable. So whenever we add and subtracting, we kind of basically are combining like terms. So my constant, which is the 2, plus the other constant, which is the 5. You're not able to do the 2 with the 7i because they wouldn't be like terms. The 7 has an I next to it, so they're not like terms. So whenever we add and subtracting, technically we're just combining like terms. So right now we're going to do 2 plus 5 equals 7, and then -4i plus 7i, that's going to give me 3i, and you're done. So my answer is 7 plus 3i. The next one, you have a negative right there, so you're subtracting. You got to be careful when you're subtracting, because the signs of the 7 and the -6 will change. Okay, so now again, like terms, 5 minus 7 gives me -2. I, so 3i minus -6, minus negative gives you a positive. So 3i plus 6i is going to give you positive 9i. So adding, subtracting is straightforward. Combine like terms. Be careful with the negatives. Okay. Now we're going to multiply here in the bottom, 3 and number 4. So here we have 2i that multiplies the parentheses. It's multiplying 5 plus 7i. So when that happens, you're using the distributive property. So it's 2i times 5. That's going to give you 10i. And then 2i times 7i is going to give you positive 14. I times I gives you I to the second power, I squared. If you remember before, I said I squared is equal to -1. Okay, very important, especially when multiplying. So right now what I need to do is change. Let me cut this right now. I need to change the I squared into -1. So I'm going to have, let me rewrite that. 10i plus 14. Instead of the I squared, I'm going to put -1. Okay, because the I squared equals to -1. Very important. Now let me keep going. Equals 10i. 14 times -1 is -14. So technically I'm done. But if we notice on the directions, I said write your final answer in a plus bi form. That means the I has to be at the end. So I need to write the I at the end. So I got to flip this too. The 14 comes to the front, -14, and then 10i goes to the end, which is positive 10i. So that's how you multiply. That will be my a plus bi form, which is the complex form. The last one. Now the last one. If you notice, there's nothing between the parentheses right there. There's nothing between the parentheses. If there's nothing, that means they're multiplying. So you got to multiply. So I'm going to take my first term times both. 4 times 3, 12. Then 4 times the second term, which is going to give me -4i. Okay, that's an I. Next, I got to do the same thing with the 2i. So 2i times 3 is going to give me 6i, and then 2i times negative 1i. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. I times I gives you I squared. Okay, so here we go. Let's combine like terms and let's replace the I squared by negative 1. So I have 12. Now, these two, negative 4i plus 6i, those two are like terms. So that means I can combine them. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2i. So these two, all right? Minus 2i squared. I squared is the same as negative 1. Now, when I replace the negative 1 by I squared, I know that I'm going to multiply the number that is in front. So negative 2i squared is negative 2 times negative 1. So it's going to give me 12 plus 2i. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Okay, and now you can see that I can combine the 12 and the 2. It's going to give me 14 plus 2i. And that will be your final answer. Remember, the I is at the end. A plus bi. Okay? After this, I assigned some work in class, which is in Google Classroom, to practice adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Okay? I'm going to do another one with division. Take care, guys.